Okay, well, hello everyone. Glad you could join us tonight. Tonight we have Lindsay going to be with us, and she's going to share a little bit about her situation, how she ended up using the helmet, in and how it's made a difference in her life. So first, we're going to just share. So tonight we're talking about concussions and getting hit in the head, and that's not a good thing. So I wouldn't recommend it. But here is the our helmet. It goes on like that. And right now, I've just taken this one off the stand because we're a little tight in the room here right now. But we have the right now, this is the near infrared, although you can't see it. And there's the red wavelength. And so that just goes on like that. And with all of our successes we've had with the using 1 minute of the bright red and 3 minutes of the near infrared. That's our helmet device. And basically, a helmet device is 10 of the palm devices. So we have several different palm devices. Right now, I've got the Palm Ultimate and the Super Palm here. Just to explain what's going on there, we have the Palm Ultimate. This is the device that can be used on different parts of the body, more localized. So it is possible to use it on the brain as well, on the skull, but it's going to take you a lot longer to end up treating the whole skull. Whereas with the helmet, you can treat the whole area in like 4 minutes, 1 minute of the red and 3 minutes of the near infrared. So that's our Palm Ultimate. It has the red wavelength, and as you can see, it's going right through my hand. And then we have the near infrared, which is in this case for the Palm Ultimate, you see the little purplish dots there. That is the 810 nanometer. And this device here, we're selling for $1,300, and it has, you can use it anywhere on the body for aches and pains and also other speeding up healing. This device here, if you're watching us tonight, every time you watch us for most of the podcast, you'll get a ballot put in. And that ballot, then at the end of the month, you'll get a chance to win one of these devices. If you watch this 4 weeks, you get 4 ballots. So you got 4 times the chances. So watch us often. But we will then do a random draw, and somebody will win one of these devices at the end of the month. Also, we have the Super Pump. So that's our $1,300 device, and this is our $1,900 device. And it has the same 660 nanometer wavelength as the other one, same optical power. But now we have this has the 1050 nanometer, which is totally invisible to our eyes. There is a one indicator light here, one red indicator to show people that it's actually working. Because in the beginning, when I designed it the first time around, people started saying, "Hey, I don't see anything." Yeah, it's still working. No, I don't see anything. Well, that's why we added that little light there so people would know that it's operational. But in actual fact, that has the potential to penetrate a bit deeper. So those are the two palms we have. We also have a Palm Professional, which is a little lower power than the actual Ultimate or the Super. So we have other devices. We have the mini canopy, as you see up in this picture here. It is the 810. You can get it 660 810 or the 660 1050 super mini canopy. So we have those two devices as well. That covers a larger area of the back or other areas on your body. So tonight we're going to be having Lindsay on tonight, and she'll be explaining things as to how she was able to see the light work, and or that she's been coming down for the helmet, and we'll be talking about that. But right now we're going to go to a video, and then we'll get right into our program.
15 years back, I realized that light could make a huge difference on the body. I ended up designing this very powerful light using LED technology. With this amount of very high power density, it can reach through the tissues and travel right to the joints. But the key is that the power density and the area is extremely important to deliver that light into that. The mitochondria receives that light and converts that energy into the cell. So it's like giving the cells super high octane fuel, and they run like a jet, and they're able to do all the things for repair in that. What are the products we have? Well, we have a small device, which is actually large when it comes to light therapy. You have a fairly large area of light and a high power density that can be used for different parts of the body, like your fingers, shoulder, back, neck, knees, ankle, anywhere on the body. And then we have what's called the mini canopy, which is about a foot square in size. And then we have our full-size canopy, which is basically 6 of the mini canopies. And then we have another device, which is the helmet, and that device can help for mental issues, for brain injuries, for concussions, for PTSD, TBI, all of those kinds of things. And there's new research out there that shows it could be helpful for not only strokes, but dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, and just different brain issues. Our plans are to move this technology into every area of the world where there's pain and inflammation, which is basically everywhere, and to expand that so people understand all the applications where this technology can be used to help them in their health in the body as a wellness device. People are looking for how they can treat themselves without drugs.
So we got Lindsay here. Lindsay, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
That's good. That's good. So Lindsay, what happened?
So in January, I fell and got a concussion. That's the short story. But the longer story is I was having an extreme pain. I started walking away from my work area to head to the bathroom. I realized I was going to faint. I fell forward, hit my head, cut my eyebrow. When I came to, I knew who I was. I recognized that I had fainted, but I was bleeding, so I got back up and quickly fell and fainted again and hit my head. And twice.
Okay.
Then the second time I got up again, knew who I was, where I was. I continued on to the bathroom to see where I was bleeding from and fell backwards. So within the span of 5 minutes, I had fainted 3 times and I had done quite a bit of damage. So by the time everything had settled, it took about 2 weeks to realize that I had a concussion just because I had pain, obviously, on my head and just the way that I had fallen. And 6 weeks after my fall, I was still in pretty rough shape. So blurry vision, speech issues, lots of headaches, and just quite a variety. And so someone at my church had recommended red light therapy. And so I said, okay, you know what, we'll give it a try. We're local in town. And so February 23rd was my first time coming in. And we did the 1 minute of red and the 3 minutes of the infrared light.
Yeah.
And I was coming 3 days a week because that was what was recommended. The first time I sat under the light, I almost could feel like a vibration. And I don't know how else to describe that. I just said to my mom, it feels like underneath the skull, but above the brain, it's just vibrating. And so for weeks and months, we had come in and I was still feeling this vibration. And then recently, I stopped feeling the vibration. And I wonder if that was the inflammation from the fall. A lot of my symptoms have been alleviated. I do still have headaches and things like that. So now I'm just coming in 2 days a week. And so I'm about 5 months post-fall. And I've just noticed that, you know, my headaches are either less frequent or less in duration or less in intensity. You know, sometimes part of the recovery process, I do push myself a little too far and then, you know, regress a little bit with those symptoms. But
Yeah, we've had another guest on before, and she said that, you know, she realized she could only do so much, and if she went a little bit further,
yeah.
that was pushing it. So
Yeah.
you also had to stop driving as well?
Yeah, I didn't really trust my vision. I was having headaches. Sometimes I'd have to close my eyes and I didn't feel safe behind the wheel. And so I just kind of made that decision to stop. And then when I would feel better, we would try it, always with another driver in the car. When I started feeling that, you know, I could manage the symptoms or I didn't get the headaches while I was driving, now I can drive around. And again, I just kind of listen to my body. If it's a day where I'm not really feeling well, I just say to my husband or my mom, you know, I just need another driver today. So
Wow. And so not just once, one concussion, not just two concussions. You decided to do three in a row.
Yes, and unfortunately, this is my second concussion. So about 10 years ago, I fell.
Second series of concussions.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, second incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one took a lot longer and the symptoms were much more intense. And again, I think that's probably why my healing hasn't been as quick as some other people.
So what happened the first time about 10 years ago?
I slipped on ice and I went straight down and broke my teeth, cracked my jaw. Yeah, so that one had a different set of issues.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Did
So,
you have, at the time, did you have any brain issues that you noticed or?
I was definitely suffering from symptoms of whiplash. And even though I had hit here, I really felt it in the back of my head, even though that's not where the impact was. Um, I was having sensitivity to light, but I didn't have the speech. I did have headache issues. But again, it was kind of something that you just kind of pushed through at the time. My doctor was like, you'll be fine, go back to work. And I just kind of suffered with it. It took probably about 2 years because I pushed myself and didn't really rest. Certainly didn't have any therapies that
Right.
I'd like to try. I
Right.
really do feel this has helped speed my recovery.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So this time around now, so it was somebody through your church that recommended it?
Yes, someone through my church, they
Now,
recommended
did
it
they
to my
know about
husband.
the concussions?
They knew about the one I was suffering from, probably not my previous one. You don't really talk about things from the past.
Right.
But yeah, they had recommended here saying that someone that they know, their son had come in,
Okay.
right,
Right.
with concussion care and only needed a couple treatments. And I was just like, you know
I
what?
wonder if that's Paul Harrington. Do you know?
I don't know who the recommendation
Okay.
came through. I was
Yeah.
really struggling at that time.
Okay. Paul Harrington, one of the fellows that now is on our sales team, his son had I'm just thinking now, his son was the one that fell off an 8 foot high fence
Wow.
and whacked his head really, really seriously. So he came in with a patch over one eye. And the first time, it was a week after the event, I heard it actually through church as well. They said pray for the Harringtons and this and their son that was having trouble. So I had heard about it and I contacted the father and I said, look, you should bring your son in. And so he did. And I think it was his wife that brought him in. And very first treatment, he had the patch on one eye and he was having a lot of difficulty. He was on the verge of a very unsettled stomach,
Okay.
seeing double if he
Yep.
took the patch off.
Yep.
There was just a number of problems that he was having, had to be in a dark room. Did you have that kind of?
The first time I did. Yeah.
Okay. Dark room, no video stimulation.
Yes, I still struggle sometimes with that.
Yeah, it's something else that your brain has to process, and if the video is coming a little fast,
Yes.
it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. So he had those issues, and it was really neat. We did the first treatment, and 2 days later, so this is a week. The first treatment was a week after the event.
Okay.
And all that time he'd been doing rough, and after the first treatment, when he came in the second time, which was 2 days later, he said that he didn't have the patch on, and that was pretty neat. And he said, yeah, he says I can see things much better, but that far wall I can't make it out. It's kind of blurry.
Okay.
Is that you had a little blurriness?
Oh
too?
yeah, double vision, definitely blurry. It felt like I wasn't wearing my glasses even when I was. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so he said, I can't make that out. So he went under the helmet and I didn't ask him nothing. He just came out and he says, oh, look at that. It's clear over there. That was right after the treatment.
Yeah.
And so he noticed that. And by the third treatment, he was almost back to normal.
Oh.
And the third treatment, he might have done one more treatment. I can't remember, but substantial, so the concussions are really rough. They can really do a lot of
Yes.
tough things.
Yes.
And your husband feels he's got you back again, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, and we're lucky. I know some people who have concussions, they can have sleep issues afterwards, personality changes. I always just check with him. I'm like, have you noticed any major changes? And right, but he said no. We were very lucky, So I just go, okay.
Yeah, and then we had another boy come through, Tyson, and we actually have him on as a case report. So people can go on our YouTube channel and look up on our YouTube channel and actually see past videos, and we have him up there as well. And in his case, he didn't have much. He just fell in the church and hit his head real hard with another person falling on him at the same on his head at the same time. So he plowed into the concrete and dark room, couldn't read, very just a little bit of audio book in the background, but no video, dark, just really and really keeping it down and loved to read but couldn't read a sentence.
Okay.
And then in 1 week's time, sorry, what 1 week, first treatment, he was the next day able to read a book again.
That's awesome.
And then another treatment, he got much, much better. And by the third treatment, he was, but because probably that other concussion you had back away has also
Yeah.
had some influence on this.
Yeah.
But it's so neat that you were able to come down and give this a go.
Yeah, and as I said, I really do feel it's working. When I sit under the light now, I don't feel the vibration, and so I just go, it's just more heat now. And so I think even just, comparing where I was to where I am now, a lot of my symptoms have disappeared, and again, that vibration feeling isn't there anymore. So.
Okay, all right. Well, Lindsay, I want to thank you for coming on tonight because you have probably encouraged some people out there and tonight. And I'm sure there's even those that will see this video in the coming months or even years and be encouraged by your story. So thank you, Lindsay, for coming on tonight.
Well, and thank you for having a product that is accessible. And I really do believe that it works. And, thank you for opening up your office and letting people come in and try it. And again, that to me is just, just amazing that you kind of just are so open with the community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. So we're going to go back into the other part of the podcast here. I'm just going to talk now a little further about the light technology that we have. So people have asked, and maybe I'll use this podcast because we got a little more time here, is what can you use this palm light for? What is it and how does it work? So the palm light is a very powerful amount of light coming from this area here. It's not just a little laser pointer, or it's not like a little polka dotted effect. If I take a something that's just translucent like this and put it against there, this just happened to be some packing material that I have handy here. But if you look at this, it's super, super even, the light intensity over that whole area. So you can still see it going through my hand there, but that even amount of light allows us to really crank up the amount of energy. If it was more pointed, like some of the other devices where they have the hot spots, you wouldn't be able to have it that much because it would be too hot on the skin. But what we've done is we've got it super, super even. So when you apply it, that's helping us to go right through, in this case, right through the wall of my cheek. And we have another video that shows where not only is it going through the wall of my cheek, but it's also going through through not only my cheek, but my jaw as well. So it's possible to do treatments for the problems with teeth and that. You can also use it for, I'll just say, spend some time with the head itself. A person can use this on their sinuses and help with the sinuses for sinus drainage problems or other issues. People have used it for that. If you have problems with your lips, sometimes people have canker sores and that. This really helps speed up that healing and can significantly reduce the pain even and immediately on the area. Seen so many people when we're at shows. Sometimes people drop by the booth, and it's kind of obvious that they've got a pretty big canker sore of some kind. And I suggest to them to try it. So they put it on there like for 1 minute of the red and 1 minute of the near infrared. And they say the pain's gone. It feels much better. And if we were to follow up with them a few days later, that probably would have healed. It's amazing. Maybe if you have it at home, I would do it for the next few days, and you'll probably get that heal really, really quickly. So it's possible to treat anything around that area, the nose. We have people using this for their eyes with the eyelids closed, 1 minute of the red and 1 minute of the near infrared. And that's on each eye, doing that eye and then doing the other eye. That is with the eyelids closed, okay? That's not to do it with eyelids open. With the eyelids closed, what that allows you to do is the eyelid itself diffuses the light so it's really, really even through the whole area, going to the back of the retina. So that is really important to have the eyelids closed and do 1 minute of each. As a matter of fact, right now, we've been able to help people with various eye problems. And it's just a case of we're providing energy to the cells, and the cells can absorb that energy. And I'll explain that in a bit. But even in the retina is apparently a very, very high blood flow through that area. And diabetics have problems with eyes because their blood gets thicker. And so they don't get the blood flow through their eyes the way they're supposed to. I'll come back to that, to the other thing as well, is like diabetic foot ulcers, we've been able to see. But let's stay back at the eyes here. So it's possible then to use the light on both eyes. And we have people with diabetic issues that have improved in their situation. As a matter of fact, one of the individuals, he was 3 years with total blindness due to diabetic retinopathy. And he used the light. As a matter of fact, it was his cousin that used the light on his eyes, and he couldn't see shadows at all. And after a few days, he could actually start seeing some shadows. And then he went away on a trip for 2 months. He had to go somewhere, and he came back, and his cousin treated his eyes further, 1 minute of the red and 1 minute of the near infrared. And I think it was within 10 days, he was able to, he said to his cousin, "You're wearing a blue dress with white flowers on it." And she was. He was able to finally see her dress. And as a matter of fact, now he's back to being a motorcycle mechanic because he can see that well. And we have a video on our website, in our YouTube channel, about him driving a motorcycle. We also have a 95-year-old woman in Toronto that was totally blind for a whole year. And now she didn't have diabetes, she had retinopathy, and she used it on both eyes. And it was like a week to 10 days, she was able to see her daughter's face for the first time in a year. So, and a matter of fact, her eyes continued to improve to the point where she was able to read the jersey numbers on the hockey jerseys. She loves hockey. And the funny part was, I used to love to see the Maple Leafs, and that was when I was really young, and when they actually won the Stanley Cup. And she had said, "Hey, I want to see so good that I can see the puck because I want to witness the Maple Leafs winning." And I said, "Well, I think that's a bigger miracle than you getting your eyesight back." Because it's been a long time and they still haven't won. I think it's 60 years now. So yeah, they need help. Anyways, maybe they need my light. That's what they need. But as we're talking about different eye issues, we've been able to one woman, one of our other sales colleagues, he has his mother was had diabetic retinopathy as well, and she could barely make out top letter on the, it's the E, right? The top letter. She could barely make that out. And she started using the light faithfully. And within a month's time, she had just gone in just prior to the treatment and had said about her eyesight being that poor. And then she started doing this with 1 minute, 1 minute. In her case, I think it was 2 or 3 times a day, which is fine. No problem doing it more often. I say this, if you, how often do you get hungry per day? Your body likes to eat 3 times a day. Why isn't that your cells as well? Why don't you keep your cells fed up to the full, or the gas tank fully full to do the job? And so she did it, and she now can read 5 lines down on the chart. Another person with diabetes that we had on a week ago or 2 weeks ago, um, Peter is his name, and he had the normal thing where he's starting to lose his ability with his eyesight, very, very slow, not as good. And now he's actually got um he's not even he just doesn't just have 20/20 vision. He actually has 20/15, which they're extremely surprised that his eyesight is actually better than a lot of us. And he's been using very regimented, and you'll see me wearing my glasses here, and I would love to get rid of these guys here. I use them for reading, but challenge is I'm not diligent enough to treat myself on a regular basis. I know I've had people remind me out there saying, "Why don't you use it for yourself?" Well, yeah, I just got to remember to use it. I just go, 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 and forget about doing some of that stuff. So that's just on the eyes. Also talking about headaches. We've been able to help with migraines. If you go back, we have videos. Again, please remember, go to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos there. And if you like the video, like it. Click the like button and subscribe. First of all, by subscribing, you'll be, as soon as we come up with a new video, you'll be one of the ones to find out about it the quickest. So you'll know right away when a new video pops up. But as well, if you click that like button, that really helps us, okay? Really, really helps us, because that helps the algorithms on YouTube to say, hey, there's a lot of people liking this thing. There must be something up. And it puts the word out further through what they call impressions. So it shows up. It's kind of like when you are watching something on YouTube, and then it flashes, you see on the column on the right-hand side half a dozen other things that you might watch. Well, that's what happens if you click that like button. That helps put us on the side there, and more people would find out about our YouTube video. So please like and subscribe. Anyways, another thing we found this useful. So migraines, we have been able to use the helmet, as you see here. This is the helmet that Lindsay was using. It's that just goes on like that. And we do usually have a stand, but we were tight in here for room. And this just has the two wavelengths, the red and the near infrared. So that would just go on there like that with the stand, 1 minute of the red and 3 minutes of the near infrared wavelength, which you just switch it to the other wavelength. And now it's going at the other wavelength. You can't really see it. You see some little purplish dots there. It's kind of hard to see. But in actual, I see it as little red dots. So that just does the near infrared that goes on the head. And we've been able to, at events where we go to, we've been able to see people that have migraines that have had their migraines turn off in 8 minutes. Other than, that, and that's a regular occurrence that we have, is when we go to these shows, people will invariably find out about our light, and we'll talk about it, and they'll come by our booth, because usually if you go to some of these conventions, you'll see the room, and then there's this bright red area where it even lights up the ceiling. That's our booth. Not too hard to find it when there's 50 booths or what in the place. There's this one area that definitely looks red right to the ceiling, and then it's not hard to find us if you just happen to cross the aisle. But we've had people with migraines show up, and first we tried one of the events. My son-in-law Nick decided we were doing 4 minutes, and he said I did it a second round, and we totally got rid of the migraine. So now what we've been doing on a regular basis is a total of 8 minutes. That's usually it's 1 minute red, 3 minutes near infrared, and we do 2 minutes red and 6 minutes near infrared, and we get rid of headaches and migraines. Now, you don't have to have the helmet to get rid of migraines. You can find out by basically treating the whole skull and getting rid of the migraines that way. But if you notice an area trigger point, like let's say something above the eye or on the temple or the back of the neck, if you feel that that seems to be the starting point, then a person can just do that area with the light, and maybe that's all you need to do. So you don't have to necessarily have a helmet. You could just do a couple treatments over that area, and maybe in 10, 15 minutes that migraine will be gone. And I do know of people that had severe migraines, and we've had others, like we have had other interviews with people that have had migraines, and they've been able to see that totally clear up. Anyways, that works extremely good for migraines and headaches. That's those areas. Now, a person can also, we've got videos on people using it for tinnitus. So, tinnitus, our usual starting point, anywhere pretty much on, except for the eyes, anywhere on the brain. Usually we do 1 minute of the red and 3 minutes of the near infrared, the other wavelength, and you do that on the ear. It's possible to do more than that, but that would be our starting point. And we've been able to see people that have had problems with tinnitus or tinnitus, however you pronounce it, improve their situation. Very, very possible. So we've had approximately 3/4 of the people that have had tinnitus problems see an improvement. And I wish I could say this works for everybody. Um, we've got about a quarter of the people that don't respond. That doesn't do anything for them. And that's the possibilities. Sometimes that happens. But this same palm unit could be used now that I've talked about here and, back of the neck for neck strain, that kind of thing. You can also use it around the front on the thyroid. So we've had people with problems with thyroid issues, whether it's hypothyroid, being a low thyroid, not producing enough thyroxine, or hyperthyroid, the other way around. And by the way, I'm not diagnosing anything here. I'm just saying what we've been able to see that seems to help. Now, if you start doing this on your thyroid, you need to double check with your endocrinologist as far as your levels, because you may see your levels change in a month or two, and you want to make sure that if you are getting back to normal, you may have to reduce your medication because of that. So we've had people with hyperthyroidism with nodules, and somehow the nodules disappear over some time treatment. So that's kind of like in this area here, a person might do 2 minutes of red and maybe 4 or 5 minutes of near infrared to get deep enough to get into the thyroid area. So that works that way. So that's talking about the thyroid. Now we can go on to shoulders. As you can see, everyone should have these devices because it should be in your medical toolkit so that you can do it on these different areas. And whenever you have a problem, You can pull it out and use it for, I've had people with frozen shoulders and they've gotten quite a number of physiotherapy treatments, which is beneficial, but they just can't get their arm up. Well, they do the treatment and they're able to start moving their arm around. It's really fun to see that. But you would treat that area anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes with about 2/3 of the time with the near infrared, 2/3, 3/4 with the deeper treatments. So I'm just going to take a little break here. We're going to go to a video and I'll come back and we'll talk a little more. PBM stands for Photobiomodulation. Photo being light, bio being biology, and light, well, light coming from some kind of source. In this case, PBM is used to help stimulate healing in the body, whether it's an LED, whether it's a laser, whether it's the sun, but that light comes through the skin layers and actually the cells are able to absorb that light, converting it to energy, and then there's a host of different processes that are stimulated because of that light. So you can speed up healing, you can do different things that is very beneficial for the cells themselves, for healing, for reduction of inflammation, and a host of other things. Kerber USA is a company that we have set up to promote healing for the US and around the world. We would like to see this technology help a lot of people. We use LED technology where we can provide high amounts of light into the body, and that stimulates healing. I'd like to introduce you to the SunPowerLED Palm Ultimate. This device here has the most power of the series of devices. This light can produce a huge amount of light that can enter into the body and help speed up that healing. In this device, we have two different wavelengths. It's 660 nanometer, and as you can see, it's very bright, but it's very effective. You will cause a systemic effect with this wavelength of light. The other wavelength is 810. It's not very visible, but it penetrates very deep, and that can help as well reach the target that you're trying to reach. The main part about this light is that we have the power behind it and the large surface area that can reach very deep into the body. We believe that our product is the most powerful LED cluster under the sun. We have specification of this device of 150 milliwatts per square centimeter, and that is over this entire area of 40 square centimeters. It also provides a wall of light that comes through the skin and is able to reach depths that have never been able to be done before with other light products on the market. There's an interesting biblical passage in Malachi 4:2 that talks about the healing that comes from the rays of the sun. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide healing with these rays. PBM has also been shown in various studies to be able to help promote healing in wounds such as diabetic ulcers, venous ulcers, and other areas where cuts or burns or other types of wounds are on the skin level. If you have any questions about PBM and how our light device, the SunPowerLED Palm series, can help you, please reach out to us and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Well, there we go. I'm going to answer some questions in just a minute here, but just to wrap up a little more on what I was talking about. So, one thing with arthritis. So basically what this device does is helps reduce inflammation. And when you can reduce inflammation, you also reduce pain. So it's possible to use this on your hands. And if it's your hands are pretty thin. So 1 minute of the red and 1 minute of the near infrared wavelength will do very well at helping the hand. And if you need to treat longer, you can. It's not harmful to treat longer. If you're trying to treat into a deeper area like the shoulder, that's where I said you might want to spend as much as 20 minutes on that shoulder to half an hour. But then knee pain, that's another one, or hip pain. To put it on that area of the knee and spend maybe 20 minutes around the whole knee with a majority of the time on the second wavelength. We like to use the red wavelength first because that really encourages blood flow. And then we use the near infrared, the other wavelength that can go even deeper than that. We've got other videos up there that can talk more about the reasons why, what happens. The cells can absorb that energy into the mitochondria, which helps create ATP, which is the power plant of the power in the cell. That's a currency. The energy currency is ATP. There's a bunch of other things that happen. There's oxygenation, you name it, that can be done by this light therapy. And what's really we're helping with is there's a real challenge to get the proper amount of light and from outside. So it's this device really does help to be able to treat yourself indoors. But we're even though we think we're having a very bright LED light in our homes with the white LED, it really doesn't have the content of the right balance of all the different wavelengths. So, some of you, if you are having any sleeping problems, you might want to look at making sure you got some incandescent light bulbs, the old style, with a little hot filament in there. That can be a better light for you at night if you're having any troubles in that area. There's a whole pile of science behind that too, why that's important. I've got some videos that we talk about that as well. So definitely, this device can be used everywhere, even on like for diabetic foot ulcers, as I mentioned earlier. We've been able to see some people have their legs or their feet saved from amputation. So this light really does help promote blood flow, and that's really key when it comes to things with diabetes. So now I'll get into answering some of your questions. Please fire your questions on to us by the chat, and I'll try and answer your questions here. Oh, I wonder if I'm reading one of your comments here, and it says, "Where is the April Palm winner? Last webinar, Tom said he forgot, and yes, I did, but I may get a note put to me, but we'll see." If that, yeah, and I've been on the travels a lot, so that's part of the challenge is trying to get everything going on time and remembering everything. By the way, these things have no issues in airport luggage. You can put it in your carry-on, and because it doesn't have a battery pack, there's no problem wherever you pack it. But I like to keep these in my carry-on because I have treated myself. I do have a picture on my Palm Light where I had that real sore throat back there, and I used it for treating my throat. Um, so Jonathan asks, is your lowest power model sufficient enough for most cases? And when should I consider the deeper penetration? Really, when you get into hips and deeper joints, it's something that you want to consider moving up to the ultimate or the super palm. It's not like you can't use the professional to do that. So yeah, so the palm professional is there, and the ultimate is and the super palmer help to penetrate a bit deeper and get things to happen a little faster. Okay, Donna's asking, can you do 1 minute and 3 minutes on the eyes or only 1 minute, 1 minute? We have recommended 1 minute, 1 minute. I know there's been some people that have treated longer. I'm just if anything, I would say start slow, and like maybe the 1 minute, 1 minute, and you could always try a little longer, but that's our recommendation. We've seen a lot of good results with the 1 minute, 1 minute. So, good point. Thank you for asking that, Jonathan. Let's see. Okay. There's a comment here. Thank you, Lindsay. Not sure of the spelling of your name. Sorry. Wish you well. That's coming from Deborah. Thank you. She says thank you. So I'll relay the message. Okay. Okay. All right. So on our winner, we were trying to connect to the person, and unfortunately, we had some real good challenges yesterday. Our power went out in this building, or not just our building, down the street. And well, anyways, we also lost our server that contains well, at least the power supplies and that, so we had to get that up and running. The main board was down, so we've had a rough 24 hours. There was just a bunch of stuff going on, but we've come through it, and we're back. Everything's working. We're on the air. We not had any technical issues yet. Not looking forward to any as well. So Yvonne is saying incandescent lights are banned in Australia. So are there full spectrum lights, BioLite, available from suppliers? Okay, there is. I've got good news, Yvonne. Even though incandescent lights might be banned normally, but I bet you any money they have incandescent lights in. If you look for the stove or refrigerator lights, the screw-in bulbs for stoves have to be incandescent because LEDs can't take the temperature. So you might have to go with. I think the highest though is 40 watts. You might be able to find some with 60 watts, but other than that, you might be able to go there. So, okay, Jonathan, yes, you are entered in the draw as soon as you sign up, register for tonight's webinar. So that's automatic. Nothing that anybody has to do. Okay. I'm just reading another question. Robert, with the prostate issues that you mentioned, um, yeah, to try and develop those muscles, really, really important. And you may find that the palm light could be helpful. I just don't know because I know in when they do surgery, it can cause tr challenges, obviously. And sorry to hear that, but it might be possible. Maybe it might help some of those nerves reconnect. They said at one time that nerves wouldn't reconnect, and well, that's now they're finding out that well, as a matter of fact, one of the persons that I'm involved with in out of Israel, they've been able to regrow spinal cord nerves and they're working on it. We need it at the right time. We're working on some investment, but what they found out is if they use light while the nerve is trying to grow back together again, that they can get an 80% nerve function, which is fantastic. If they don't use the light therapy at the same time as the nerve regrowth, they only have like a 20% nerve function, which is just as it really doesn't have much benefit. So they found that the what happens is the nerves are able to regrow. So when it comes to surgery and some of these other things that are going on, it might be possible that it could help. Okay. I have a question from Katie for the tinnitus or tinnitus. We use 1 minute of the red and 3 minutes of the near infrared, which is basically the same treatment that we use for the rest of the brain. That's what we're finding, and I'm going to suggest that if you are able to get one of our palm lights and you start using it, and even if you get a small change, keep going. It may be months, maybe it's 6 months. I don't know. But one thing I also say is once you get started with it, you can also ramp it up where you treat 3 times a day or even treat longer and see if that doesn't help as well. But that would be my suggestion to you. And I also got Jonathan, another fellow here, mentioning about sending us a question. Yeah, so if you send your questions into info at SunPowerLED, that's info at sunpowerled.com, we can try and answer your questions, okay? And we'll try and answer them as quickly as possible. I know Faith, who works in our front office, is very diligent about trying to track me down. But this last while, I've been traveling so much, it's been really, really hard to keep up with all the things around the office as well. So if you feel I haven't answered a question for you, please get in contact with Faith and or Jennifer, and they will try and answer the question. If you still don't have an answer, or sorry, you need a deeper answer to something, um, send us an email or call us, and they will try and get the message to me. So, yeah, we are tonight. We are actually winding up earlier. By the looks of it, we got a whole pile of questions answered there. So I just want to refresh everybody's memory. Please go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe. That's very, very helpful, as I mentioned earlier, for us, for the message to get out there. YouTube is at SunPowerLED. Um, yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we will have another very interesting guest. We want to thank Lindsay for being on tonight. Thank you, Lindsay. And I'm sure a lot of people will be helped from this. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you have a really God-blessed week. All the best for now. Bye.